Today, we're stepping into something heavier, something more emotional than the usual Real Housewives drama or Beverly Hills glamour. For months, viewers have been startled, even heartbroken, watching the shift between Mauricio Umansky and Kyle Richards, a couple who once felt unshakable on RHOBH. Their story has taken a turn that very few saw coming. No cheating scandal sensationalism. No exaggerated headlines. Just the quiet human unraveling of a relationship built over decades. So today, we're exploring the softer parts, the late-night conversations, the silence between two people who used to finish each other's sentences, the moments viewers didn't see, the moments the cameras almost captured but didn't. This is Mauricio and Kyle, What Happened Behind Closed Doors. A story that has touched millions. Let's begin. Part 1. The call that changed everything. It happened on a Tuesday. A normal, bright Beverly Hills morning. The kind of day where the sky looks too blue to contain anything painful. Mauricio was in his office going through notes for a big real estate listing. His phone lit up, not with a dramatic emergency, not with a scandal, but with something far more subtle. A message from Kyle. Short, unusually short. When you have a moment, we need to talk. Mauricio froze. Not because the message sounded angry, it didn't. But because it didn't sound like her at all. Kyle always used emojis, exclamation marks, warmth. This message was neat, bare, carefully typed. Almost too carefully. And Mauricio, who had lived nearly 3 decades with this woman, immediately sensed it. Something was wrong. Really wrong. Part 2. Ellie's silence. When Mauricio walked through the front door that evening, the house felt full, yet empty. Candles lit. Dishes put away. Reality TV cameras long gone. But Kyle was sitting at the table, hands wrapped around a mug that had probably gone cold hours ago. She looked up at him with eyes that weren't sad, they were exhausted. The kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from a bad day, but from months of carrying something alone. Mauricio sat down across from her. He didn't speak. He just waited. Finally, Kyle whispered, "I don't know how to do this anymore." Those words hit him harder than any headline ever could. She wasn't talking about fame, or the show, or the chaos of being a public couple. She was talking about them. Part 3. The unraveling. Kyle explained what she had been feeling. Not anger, not betrayal, but distance. Distance that had quietly grown between them like a vine creeping up a wall. Late-night events for Mauricio's real estate empire. Kyle filming, rehearsing, managing endless obligations. Their daughters growing older, leaving home, creating new chapters. There weren't fights. There weren't screaming matches. And that was the problem. It wasn't loud, it was silent. And silence is harder to fix. In her slow, steady voice, Kyle said, "I feel like we're living parallel lives instead of the same one." Mauricio didn't argue. He didn't interrupt. He just listened, in a way he hadn't listened in a long time. The truth was, deep down, he felt it too. Part 4. The confession. Mauricio took a breath. A long, shaky one. He admitted something he had been hiding even from himself. His work, the huge listings, the expectations, the pressure to be Mauricio from buying Beverly Hills, had pulled him away from the simple life he once loved. The dinners, the movie nights, the spontaneous moments with Kyle. He looked her in the eyes and said, "I didn't notice how far apart we were getting, and that scares me." Kyle's eyes softened. She wasn't looking for perfection. She never had been. What she wanted was acknowledgement, honesty, humanity, and in that moment, she finally got it. They published a storm. When news of their separation rumors hit social media, everything exploded. Tweets, podcasts, speculation, people pretending to know the whole story. commenters picking sides, fans writing essays about what they believed happened. But what none of them saw were the private moments. Kyle sitting in her car outside the gym, just breathing. Mauricio rewatching old family videos late at night. The daughters checking in, trying not to take sides, trying to hold both parents gently. It wasn't a scandal. It was a family trying to find balance in the eye of a storm. Part 6. The night everything shifted. Weeks later, after countless difficult conversations, they found themselves sitting on the living room floor together. No crew, no glam, no pressure. Just them. A blanket. A half-finished bowl of popcorn. A movie neither of them was really watching. Kyle leaned her head back against the couch and whispered, "Do you think we can find our way back to each other?" Mauricio didn't rush his answer. He didn't give a perfect speech. He simply reached out, took her hand, and said, "I think we can try. I want to try." It wasn't a fairy tale promise. It wasn't dramatic or cinematic. It was real, quiet, human, and sometimes that matters more. Part 7. The healing period. They made a plan, not for the cameras, but for themselves. Asterisk 1 night a week, completely unplugged. Asterisk real conversations, even the uncomfortable ones. Asterisk counseling, not because they were broken, but because they wanted to grow. Asterisk protecting their kids from public noise. Asterisk taking space when needed. Asterisk and showing patience, even when patience felt impossible. Kyle said something that stuck with many viewers later. Marriage isn't about perfection. It's about choosing each other again and again, especially when it's hard. For Mauricio, who had always been the optimistic one, this season forced him to slow down, to rethink what mattered most. Not the deals, not the headlines, not the show, but the people sitting at the dinner table he had almost drifted too far from. Part 8. The world re-acts. When Kyle and Mauricio finally addressed the public, the reaction was overwhelming. Fans sent messages of support. Friends dropped off meals. Strangers wrote stories about their own marriages, separations, and reunions. People cried with them, prayed for them, rooted for them. Because even if their world looks glamorous from afar, their struggle was painfully relatable. And sometimes the most beautiful thing a public couple can do is simply admit they're human. Part 9. The future. So where are they now? Stronger than before, still working, still healing, still choosing compassion over chaos. No one knows what the future holds, not even them. But what they do know is this: they're trying for themselves, for their daughters, for the love that still exists between them. It's not the end of a love story. It's a new chapter, a softer one, a braver one. And maybe, just maybe, that's the chapter they needed all along. RHOBH, narrator. Thank you for watching this deep dive into Mauricio Umansky and Kyle Richards' emotional journey. If you felt moved or connected or even a little reflective, hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Until next time, stay safe, stay kind, and hold the people you love a little closer tonight. But the story doesn't end with a neatly wrapped conclusion, because real relationships rarely do. In the months that followed their emotional reset, Mauricio and Kyle learned that healing wasn't a straight line. Some days were full of hope. They cooked dinner together, laughed about old memories, or took quiet walks around their neighborhood the way they used to. Their daughters noticed the difference too, the softening, the gentler energy in the house. But other days were harder. Some mornings Mauricio woke up feeling like they were still miles apart. Some nights, Kyle wondered if too much had already changed. Yet despite the uncertainty, they kept choosing transparency over silence. What mattered wasn't perfection. It was effort, honesty, maturity. During an interview months later, Kyle spoke candidly, not for shock value, not for ratings, but because she knew thousands going through similar struggles needed to hear it. Love isn't always about holding everything together. Sometimes it's about letting go of old versions of yourself so you can grow into something healthier. For you and for each other. Mauricio echoed her words during the Buying Beverly Hills press run. He acknowledged the pressure of balancing success with emotional presence, saying it was the first time he truly understood how work could quietly reshape a marriage if you're not careful. The public was stunned by their vulnerability. No glamour, no staged perfection, just two people rebuilding in real time. And in a world obsessed with polished images, their honesty became a lifeline for fans watching their own relationships evolve. One evening, after a long day of filming, Kyle and Mauricio found themselves sitting outside under the warm Los Angeles night sky. No scripts, no spotlight, just them. Kyle whispered, "Whatever comes next, I'm proud of how far we've come." Mauricio nodded, eyes softer than they had been in years. "Me too. We're not done. We're still writing this story. And maybe that's the heart of it all. Not every chapter is easy. Not every moment is glamorous. But choosing each other intentionally, imperfectly, honestly, is its own quiet kind of love." And for Mauricio and Kyle, that love is still unfolding.